Inflation is constantly destroying the value of your hard-earned cash. So it's pretty clear why investing is necessary for surviving the rise in prices and building your future wealth. Now, before you start investing, it's important to understand the different asset classes, how they compare, and what makes them unique amongst each other. In this course, we're focused on liquid assets, which are investments that can be sold instantly or liquidated into cash in seconds. The 5 major liquid asset classes are equities, fixed income, commodities, currencies, and digital assets. But for the sake of this course and to simplify the language, we're going to call equities stocks, fixed income bonds, currencies cash, and digital assets crypto. Now you might notice there's 2 color-coded categories, and this is part of financial literacy. See, stocks, commodities, and crypto are more risky, so they fall in the risk category, where bonds and cash are more protective, so they belong in the defensive category. Now first, we're going to start with the protective side, the least risky of assets, cash. The technical term for cash is currency, and currencies are instruments of accounting and exchange to facilitate the transfer of value. Currencies are the largest and most liquid asset class, trading between $6 and $7 trillion a day. A couple examples. For the US, cash is the dollar. For Japan, the yen. For Europe, the euro. The yuan for China. For England, the pound sterling. And for Switzerland, the Swiss franc. Now, currencies are mostly traded, but as an investment, there's really nothing flashy about cash, other than that cash is a protective mechanism when things start to turn sour. So what drives the rush to cash? Well, cash is the ultimate safe haven asset. When the world falls apart and the stock market tanks, investors seek safety in cash. And now we move over to the fixed income market, the bond market. Bonds are debt instruments that pay a fixed amount of income over the duration of the loan. So when you invest in a bond, you're actually loaning your money. The receiver of these loans are usually corporations, governments, or institutions. And they use these loans to fund growth without giving up ownership. Now, what drives the bond market is the demand for fixed income payments. By far, the most popular form of bonds are U.S. Treasury bonds and corporate bonds. Treasury bonds are debt issued from the government, and corporate bonds are debt issued from corporations. So corporate bonds are backed by corporate equity or the stock market, and U.S. Treasury bonds are backed by the government's promise to pay back. Now, of course, in general, fixed income is less risky than equities or commodities in crypto, but the reward is also much smaller. Now, for the riskier assets, we start with commodities. Now, commodities are the building blocks of the real world and the products we consume. We have base metals to build the economy, energy to power the economy, agriculture to feed the economy, and precious metals as an alternative form of money. And some of those base metals include aluminum, copper, and steel. The main sources of energy, oil and natural gas. And for agriculture, we have things like coffee, sugar, wheat, and rice. The 2 biggest precious metals are gold and silver. Now, out of all the commodities, the 2 most important are oil and gold. Oil is the primary source of energy around the world, powering most first world industrial economies. And gold has always been regarded as a form of money, a store of value that the government cannot print. Now, what moves commodity markets are the supply and demand of those commodities. But as technology advances, the supply of these commodities increases over time, and they don't become very good long-term investments, but seasonally can be very good trades. Now, when inflation arises, commodities tend to be one of the best hedges because they are the underlying prices to goods and services. Now for equities, also known as stocks. Equities are businesses that provide some type of value, whether a good or a service, and allow ownership through shares. Stocks are the most popular form of equity because they're in most employee retirement plans in the form of an ETF or an index fund. And the difference between a stock and an ETF or an index is that a stock is a single piece of a company that we can own. ETFs and indexes are groups of investments packaged as one share, so they track the collective performance of a group of stocks. Tesla, Amazon, Apple, these are the stocks that most people own. The more popular index funds are the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Now, the stock market is unique because it is not only companies that you can invest in, but the ETFs allow you to have exposure to bonds and commodities, which makes the stock market the most well-rounded market because you can get pretty much exposure to any asset class. We will dive a little deeper in the next lessons. Last but not least is crypto. Crypto is the newest of the 5 major liquid asset classes made popular by the rise of Bitcoin, the first blockchain technology. There are different types of cryptos, but for the most part, they all use special types of technology to build decentralized networks that can create, transfer, and secure anything of digital value. This opens up a new use case for transforming finance, supply chain management, and the internet itself. Users can gain ownership of these networks without permission of institutions, governments, or centralized entities. Now, traditional networks are governed by a handful of non-elected shareholders or elected board members. However, crypto networks are governed by the users of the network, and we call this consensus. Bitcoin is a store of value network. Ethereum is a utility network. You also have stablecoins that track the value of the US dollar. DeFi, or decentralized finance, is a whole financial system with different rules and unique perks. Meme tokens like Dogecoin, Shiba, Pepe are cultural bets that add no economic value but gain popularity through social networks. You also have NFTs, which are digital forms of art that can be financially programmed. And as an asset class, crypto is by far the most volatile, meaning prices can swing much higher or lower than traditional asset classes. It's normal for some crypto assets to rise hundreds of percents in a matter of months, but also drop 50% in a single day. Now let's review. Commodities, stocks, and crypto are risk assets, meaning they perform better when the economy is in good shape. In a stable economy, you want to take risk because taking risk is like playing offense. Cash and bonds are non-risk, safe haven assets that perform better when the economy is in bad shape. In a bad economy, you want to play defense to protect yourself. And of the safe haven assets, cash is the ultimate safe haven asset, more specifically the world reserve currency. Bonds are primarily fixed income instruments. Commodities are tied to the strength of the economy, which makes them good trades during different seasons, but not long-term investments. Stocks are the most versatile asset because they offer exposure to every other asset class through ETFs. Crypto is a new and emerging asset class with lots of potential but very risky because it's in such an early stage of adoption. Now you have a foundation for understanding the 5 major liquid asset classes, how they relate, and how they're different.